Hey everybody, we made it into double digits. It's episode 10 of Wild Ride with Steve-O, and out of respect for what's going on in our country, we are donating 100% of the money generated by this episode to the NAACP Empowerment Fund. To be clear, the NAACP is an organization at the forefront of the movement to build political power and ensure the well-being of communities of color. And that means all of the money paid by the sponsors as well as all of the YouTube AdSense revenue received will all be donated to that. And on, I think, every single podcast leading up to this, I've made it clear what a huge fan of the UFC I am. And this weekend we've got UFC 250, Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer, and I had the distinct honor of talking to Dana White about it, so let's get into it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Dana White. Yeah, dude.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Dana?
How are you?
The world seems to be crumbling around us. It's an upsetting and awful time, and the one thing that I really have to look forward to is the fucking fights. So thank you for that, man.
Thank you. I love your Fight Island shirt, too.
Well, I love your Fight Island, man. So, dude, and I just got to say, man, this is Scott, who you've met before. He was in the van when
Yep,
we drove
I remember.
out. And,
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Dude, we just both are such fucking fans of yours, man. Like, every time, every after fight press conference, everything you do so well, and it's just such an honor to have you on here, so thank you, man.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you.
We always look at each other after you say something like, dude, Dana White's just the fucking man, dude.
Oh, dude, the most unapologetic, the most just completely confident in everything you do, and I love it. So, first question that I want to ask you is, if, say, hypothetically, this is a new van, not the one that I had you in, this is a more involved RV setup, and if I were to jump behind the wheel and drive this sucker to Vegas, that's where we've got UFC 250 this weekend?
Right.
In the Apex?
Right.
If I drove out there, is there some little fucking nurse or doctor that I could go to and get like a swab up my nose? And if I passed the COVID test, would I be allowed to be a spectator, even if I worked as your assistant's assistant?
That's a good question. Let me figure that out. So what we've done is here in Nevada is try to limit the amount of people that are inside the arena, even though they're all tested, and keep them separated and social distance and whatever the hell else is going on here.
Right.
And, so let me see. I would love to have you there if I think we can pull that off.
I mean, admittedly, I would be non-essential, so it makes sense that I wouldn't be allowed. But I'll tell you, dude, I would take a cotton swab COVID test down my dick hole to be there.
Hey, how fucked up is that if we're calling people non-essential now? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but dude, I'm such a huge fan, and I've got my fiance, who, dude, she is every bit as much of a UFC fan as I am, and her new way of demanding sex from me is she says I'm gonna need some ground and pound. I'm gonna ground her and pound her tonight.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
She's the best. It's safe to say that I get more excited for fights based on disliking a fighter than is that like a common thing? Do you notice?
Yeah, you have to be invested in a fight one way or another, whether whatever the storyline is in the fight, or whether you want a guy to win or lose, or it's all about investment. It's what makes the whole fight fun, whether you bet on them or bet against them or whatever it is.
Right. I mean, dude, I enjoy just disliking Colby Covington so much.
He's very good. He's very good at it.
Right. I mean, and the thing is that he's not. It's just weird. Yeah, God, dude. So, and as you know, I do not miss a fight. Like, if I watch every early prelim, every prelim, like no matter what.
That's awesome.
And as you also know, I mean, of course, I'm not on tour now, but for the most part, on Saturday nights, I would be like performing in a comedy club or a theater, so I would miss the fights. And
Right.
then I come back to my room and I turn on I open up ESPN Plus and you would get these messages from me just raging. Oh my God, I go on to see the fights and then they've given away the outcome of the fight on the thumbnail. Like the ESPN Plus would show the thumbnail, which I have to click on to watch the fight, and it's a guy like in victory with his arms up. It's like, dude, I didn't want to know.
It was a big problem first. We had to fix that. When we first started with those guys.
My question is, am I responsible for getting that fixed?
Yeah, I think that was you, wasn't it, that reached out to me and said, you're fucking ruining the fights. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. That was you.
Yeah, and you told me.
Yeah, you were.
So that's the Steve-O rule.
I forgot about that. You fucking hit me up on that. You were all pissed off. And and I reached out to ESPN and they fixed it. That's right.
Yeah, you told me. You said I just hit up the president of ESPN and the #2 at Disney, and it's fixed.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
dude.
right. You know what's funny about that too? That you end up being. I was such a huge fan of Jackass. You know, the night that I think it was the second Jackass came out. It was either 1 or 2. I can't remember, but we had a fight in Southern California, and I literally went down to the movie theater and because I wanted to see it in the theater the opening night, and the movie theater people let me go in with my crew before they opened the theater, and we got our seats and sat in there, and then the place came in and filled in after. It was sold out. The movie was sold out. It was packed. But I was a huge, and I don't know if you ever saw, like one of the weigh-ins, I wore a Dick House shirt.
Oh, dude, rad.
Did you ever see that?
I did. I've only really been like a diehard UFC fan since Ronda Rousey came in to the picture. You know, like
when I wore that shirt at the thing, Knoxville hit me up.
Nice.
After that weigh-in.
Dude, epic, man. And dude, how huge is the UFC right now? Be like, for example, on this podcast, and this is episode 10, we're so excited about it, but we had Demi Lovato, huge UFC fan. You know, we were talking about, she was saying how she got a text from you and she didn't know who it was. She said, who is this? And it's Dana White. She was like, oh shit. You know, we did Ronda Rousey on here. She could not love you more. I mean, it was incredible. Scott asked her, who's the cooler boss, Vince McMahon or Dana White? And she just could not be stopped just gushing about how much of just a mentor, a personal friend, like how much she loves you. And it really...
That's very sweet of her.
Dude,
yeah, no, contrary to popular belief, I have a pretty good relationship with most of the guys. You can't get along with everybody all the time. I got 600 and something alpha males and females. So eventually something's going to fucking blow. But, you know, I have a pretty good relationship with everybody. I try anyway.
For
I
sure.
do the best I can.
We had Shaq on. Shaq's a huge fan of the UFC. Seems like everybody we talk to.
Yeah, everybody's a huge fan of the UFC. Are you in the war room right now? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, we're in the war room.
And then you're announcing you're making some fights tomorrow? Or on Tuesdays or the fights?
That's exactly right. Tuesday is matchmaking meeting, and we make fights on Tuesdays.
You can't give us any hints on who you got coming up?
I literally don't have anything going on right now. And let me look.
Oh, yeah. Dana White's about to reveal the inner workings of the war room, and I'm about to reveal the inner workings of my asshole. And I'm very serious about this because the way that we poop in America is messed up. Because we're sitting like in a way that we're not naturally supposed to sit, which is why I use squatty potty. You see, it gets your knees up. This is the position that we were intended to poop in, like in the Eastern Hemisphere. They don't sit on a toilet, they poop into a hole in the ground. I'm telling you, I use squatty potty, and I'm so serious about it that when I'm staying in a hotel and I don't have one with me, I unplug the microwave and I put it in front of the toilet because fuck microwaves, and fuck the hotel for not having a squatty potty. Not only, if you go to squattypotty.com/Stevo, will you get 20% off your order. They're picking 5 of the people who order squatty potties to give an extra one to, which I am right now gonna sign. That's right, 5 lucky people who order from squattypotty.com/Stevo will not only get 20% off their order, but will get an extra squatty potty signed by me. Do this for your health, man. I'm serious. I've been doing it for 6 years. My poops are considerably more complete, quick, and healthy. All right.
Last time I was in here, I gave something away. Oh, shit, yeah. So this... Hold on. Let me fuck with this. No, you stay where you are. Get over here. This is the guy.
Wow.
Right here.
Yeah,
who fixes everything in here and adjusts all, he's been out for a while and he's finally back. This is your first day back? This is his second day back to work. So he's in here straightening shit out. But this is the guy with the greatest fucking handwriting on planet Earth. Okay. Look at this handwriting this kid has.
Wow. I dig it.
Holy shit.
Right? So he's in here updating this thing right now. What's that say? Frankie Edgar's on his last fight. These are all guys whose contracts are coming up and we have to renew or whatever. But yeah, I'll give you something here.
So he's got to write 600 names on that board.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. This guy comes in and kills it. He writes on every single wall and replaces all the slides for the fights that are coming up. But we have right now July 25th.
Is that going to be the debut of Fight
July
Island?
25th, Robert Whitaker versus Till.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a good one.
The co-main event is Shogun Hua versus Little Nog. And I don't know if those fights are done yet, but they're what's on the board right now.
So that's
this is all shit that's being placed up here, and we'll go through it tomorrow. And see what I like, what I want to keep, what I want to switch.
Great.
That's how it works.
And that's Till's only second fight at middleweight. He went up from welterweight to middleweight, and
he called out Izzy, and Izzy was like, "No."
Oh my God! I mean,
yeah. Till's ranked number 5 right now, though. He's ranked number 5,
he looked
and Whitaker's
good.
Obviously number 1.
He looked good at middleweight too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
So does that mean he's gonna? Oh, well, where's it gonna be? Because they're both international.
You said July 25th, so that's the first Fight Island.
We don't have the. Well, if it's July 25th, it's Fight Island.
Oh my God, that's
You should have asked to go to that one instead of the Apex.
right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I would buy a boat. So what the fuck is going on with John Jones? I mean, I love the guy. The last 2 times I went to Albuquerque, he came to my show. I had the venue manager come to the green room and say, "Hey, John Jones is here, and he's wondering, would it be okay if he could come in and say hi?" And I was like, "What? Holy shit! Of course he can come in and say hi. Just the sweetest dude." So good.
Did you see him walking? Did you see him walking down the streets last night in Albuquerque, taking spray paint cans out of people's hands?
Badass.
I love it.
Those kids shit their pants.
For sure.
I think maybe I should just send UFC fighters out in the streets to stop this shit.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell and Huntington.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Yeah,
dude. But I just like it's so. And Chael Sonnen, I really enjoy his YouTube channel. All of his commentary on the UFC is just so articulate. It's so just right on point. And
he knows what he's talking about. And listen, these are the kind of things that happen, though. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody wants more money. Everybody wants more money. It's human nature. You know what I mean? You ask any of the people that are in here working right now, they all want more money. Everybody needs more money. It's just
right.
It's you never talk to somebody and say, "Do you get paid enough?" They're like, "You know what? I actually think I'm paid too much. I think these guys are overpaying me." It's amazing.
Right.
You're never going to hear that. And I think John Jones is looking at, he's looking down the barrel of the end of his career, and he wants to make as much money as he possibly can.
Sure.
And I don't fault them for that. I don't ever blame a guy for wanting to make more money. It's completely normal. So sometimes we have these beefs. But let me put it to you this way. You know, whether it's Henry Cejudo or it's John Jones, right? Do either one of you have enough money to fucking retire right now and just say, fuck it, I'm done. I'm pissed off and that's it. I'm never going to fucking work again as long as I live.
I wouldn't want to put it to the test.
I mean, I'd go fucking crazy if I couldn't work for the rest of my life. Like, you have to do something.
Right.
These guys have the money to retire. Right. They have the money to say, fuck it. You know what? I'm pissed off and I'm not happy and I'm not going to work anymore.
I mean, I think that you're a prime example of somebody who has plenty of money to retire and just loves his job. I mean,
yeah, fuck that shit. The pandemic gave you a glimpse of what retirement would be like, and
it's boring as fuck.
The rest of your life would be a fucking pandemic. I'm not good with that. I love what I do. I love the sport. I love going to work every day, and yeah.
About Fight Island. We're going to find out about Fight Island, but first I'm going to tell you about a war I've been waging for years against nose and ear hair. And the sad truth is I was losing hopelessly until very recently. Why? Because I traveled with a nose hair trimmer that looks like a comb like that, right? Yeah, that's all you're going to do with that thing is comb. It's useless. God, I couldn't cut anything. And thank God Manscaped has solved the problem absolutely definitively with the Weed Whacker. This is a new product alert, folks, okay? We're not combing nose hair anymore. We are annihilating it with this. Oh, I demonstrate it, but it works so well. There's nothing in there because the Weed Whacker works so well. Oh, man. And we're talking to Dana White here. Manscaped, who makes the Weed Whacker, totally sponsors the UFC. You think that these fighters are going to get caught running around ungroomed? I mean, they're trying to make weight. They don't have time for extra hair, and damn well not in their nose and ears. So good news, you go to manscaped.com and you enter the promo code STEVO. What do you get? You get 20% off your whole order and free shipping. Again, that is 20% off your whole order and free shipping when you use the promo code STEVO at manscaped.com. Get this thing, because I'm telling you, when girls see hair coming out of your nose and especially your ears, they'd sooner barf than get intimate with you. So yeah, thank you, Manscaped. God, I needed this years ago. All right, back to the show. Is it the same island that you had set up when it was going to be UFC 249, and then you said that ESPN said, hey, look, we need you to back off of this?
Yes, it is. But 249 wasn't supposed to be on the island then. That was going to be in California.
Okay.
Yeah, when ESPN asked me not to do that fight, that was California.
Oh, got it.
We were going to go to an Indian reservation out there.
Nice. Okay.
And the sizes of the octagon, I know you had a question about that.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Why is the octagon in the apex 5 feet smaller in diameter than when it's in an arena?
Because it's a smaller venue. So we built a smaller octagon. Like when we used to do fights at the Palms or the Hard Rock, we would use a smaller octagon. When you go into, the T-Mobile Arena,
right,
you need a bigger octagon. The thing will look like shit in there with a small octagon. So that's why we built the smaller one. We actually we had our really smart kids that work here pull some numbers on finishes inside the octagon. There's no difference.
Okay, so
there's no difference between the size of the octagon.
Okay, got it. Okay, because I've been noticing from just the Apex, one event, a lot of good things being said about the smaller octagon. A lot of great comments, a lot of great tweets.
It's all bullshit.
Right.
We were just in Florida. We were just in Florida, and every fight that week was great.
Right. In
the big octagon.
Right.
These fucking media guys are so hard up for shit to write right now. They're writing about anything. You know what I mean? Most of what you read is bullshit. These guys are all full of shit.
Well,
all of
right.
them, all the media, they're all full of shit. You can't believe anything you fucking read anymore.
I mean, I saw where you went off. What was it? Was it the New York Times?
Yeah.
And you said that this guy found that he wrote an article about the UFC, and all of a sudden he got all kinds of views on it or whatever. So now he's writing UFC shit all over the place, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, you know, and I know everybody thinks that this is a fucking dig, but it's not a dig. This is the truth. You know it. I know it, and fucking everybody knows it. One of the biggest problems is, you know, the weakest people on fucking earth cover the toughest sport on earth. So when these guys come up with all this stupid shit that they say or whatever it is, it's like, what would you expect them to say? You know what I mean? If you took all the fucking biggest wimps on the planet and you put them all in a room together, right? The media are wimps amongst wimps. They are the fucking always the wimpiest fucking guys in the room. So what would you expect from these people?
Dude, there's no better president than Dana White, dude. It's so fucking badass.
Right. So now I want to thank you as well. Like, God, it's been so great. Like, I remember because you followed me on Instagram. And I knew that we were going to Chicago, and then I'm like, "Holy shit, dude! There's this fight."
The Romero Whitaker fight.
You gave us front row tickets for that unbelievable fight between Whitaker and Romero in Chicago, and we were sitting next to the pro skater Chaz Ortiz, and then I was like, "Wow," because I figured it out. At least in my view, I don't want to bug you for tickets to a fight that's happening in L.A. or Anaheim or even Vegas for that matter. Even though
you can hit me up whenever you want to for them.
Dude, I love it, but I felt like Chicago was great because there's not going to be as many people there. And I flew me and my girl to Dallas to watch Till and Woodley. God, where was Woodley? You know, two nights ago.
Well, the thing is with Woodley is that, you know, Woodley's taken a lot of time off in his career. And even though the guy is a fucking physical specimen and an incredible athlete, he's 38 years old and had almost 2 years off. And you come in against these younger, faster fucking savages like Burns. And, you know, it eventually catches up with you.
Yeah.
I mean, did Woodley he had two camps for that, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He didn't try to make any excuses. He said, I was in phenomenal shape. I was ready for this fight. And, you know, this is a young man's game and,
right.
And a lot of things. And I'm a big believer in ring rust too.
Do you notice a difference in fighters when they're fresh and they're new and they come out and they're just doing it for the love of fighting and they're fucking crushing it and they're like, dude, all I want to do is fight, put me in, and then there's a transition where they're like, the money's got to be there.
100%, and not just that. I mean, listen, if you're selling and you're going like this and bringing in money, you make fucking shitloads of money. The sky's the limit for how much you can make because if you're a world champion, you share in the pay-per-view revenues, right? So, but the other thing that happens is once a guy gets a lot of money and you get on top and you become, you know, you're the man, then everything you do is a threat to the lifestyle you're living and what you have. So, you know, some of these guys handle it the wrong way and fight less and want to take less risk instead of diving in and assuming all the risk at that time. I mean, that's a Conor McGregor. When you talk about a Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, you know, those type of people were the people that were like, when they were on top, I don't give a fuck. I'll fight everybody. Who do you want me to fight? I'll fight, you know, multiple times in a fucking 3-month period or whatever the deal is. And they made a lot of money. They became really famous. And, you know, that's the way you got to go at it. When you're here and you're on top, guns are fucking blazing and make as much money as you possibly can.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of money, quick, when fighters say that, like, or, you know, when you're not telling them what they're getting paid and,
well, no, when that one guy from the ESPN radio, Dan Le Batard, was giving you a hard time. That was so great.
When you're like, it's none of your business, right? But my question is, like, you know, and even Daniel Cormier said that he doesn't like the fact that people know what he makes and this and that. But what about when after a fight they post the purse? What's the difference between that and what they're actually making?
So the reality is here's the reality. None of these fighters, there's no contract they sign. They can say whatever they want. If they want to talk about their money, if they want to say how much they make a fight, how much they've made in their career, they can say that anytime they want to. They don't want to say that. They don't want anybody knowing how much money they make. They don't want these reporters. So these reporters come out and they try to act like, oh, yeah, this is for the fighters, whatever. You're full of shit. Reporters don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. Right. Reporters want the scoop on, oh, I broke how much this guy's making. I got this and that. And the fighters know that. The fighters don't want anybody. The fighters do everything in their power to make sure that the media and the fans and anybody else does not find out how much money they make.
But after a fight, I feel like there's been times where we Googled, like, what did people make? And then it'll come up, like, what people's purses were. I think that's what Scott was asking. Is that not the accurate?
Are those bullshit numbers?
I wouldn't say they're bullshit numbers, but there's lots of other ways that the fighters make money. So
got it.
That's part of what they made.
Because they probably make a lot more than that off sponsorship and whatever else.
Not even sponsorship, just fighting.
Got it.
Yeah. Their sponsorship numbers never come out either. I mean, I don't even know what they make in sponsorship. That's that's between them and their team. But you listen, man. If you look at the fighters that I've had here, from Brock Lesnar to even somebody that hated each other like me and Tito Ortiz, the Chuck Liddells, the guys that I publicly had beefs with or whatever it might be, everybody sticks around, man. It's because they make a lot of money here. And it's not like they don't make money in other organizations, because these other organizations will throw ridiculous amounts of money at guys and girls, to make them come there. So believe me.
I mean, Cyborg hasn't fought
whatever you
again.
do, don't ever feel fucking sorry for somebody who's fighting over here. They're doing just fine.
Right. I think Cyborg's had one fight at Bellator.
Just one fight at Bellator, right? Nothing.
Yep. And they threw money at her for her to go there.
Yeah, I don't really care about Bellator. I can't,
Me neither.
Now, so when this was so interesting, when I first got that other van, and I saw that, Tom Cruise calling out Justin Bieber, and I jumped in the van. Like, it just so happened that you invited me to the Contender Series.
Bieber. No, I think Bieber called out Cruise.
Yeah, Bieber called out Cruise, and so I was like, oh, I want to fight Justin Bieber, and I kind of ambushed you with that one. I got you in the van. I was like, okay, I'll set up a fight between me and Bieber. And, dude, you wanted nothing to do with it. You were like, dude, no commission would put that on, dude. It was hilarious, but it was a ploy for me to get attention. And we were so nervous. We were like, oh my God, dude, Dana White's there. We were getting ready to go get you in the van. That was so much fun. But before we run out of time with you, let's throw out some potential fights here, okay? When I say that I love disliking Colby Covington, I mean, what are we gonna do with Woodley? He just didn't show up. I think that Covington and Woodley deserve each other.
Ask Andrew if the new rankings came out yet.
I think
Woodley probably dropped down quite a bit.
No, they haven't come out yet. Well, if you look going into that fight, you got Usman, who's the champ. Yeah, we got him.
Last week's. It might be more.
Okay.
Wow, we almost got the rankings.
They were supposed to come out, but they haven't yet. But you got Woodley, who just lost to
Burns.
I want to say
Burns was number 6.
It says he's 12 here, but he was number 6, I think.
Yeah, Burns was number 6.
Right.
So the question is Burns now? Does Burns get Woodley? Does Burns get Usman? Burns a title shot when Leon Edwards. Edwards.
How does that work?
Yeah, so you got Colby Covington, you got Jorge Masvidal, you got Leon Edwards, and now, obviously you have Gilbert Burns.
Right.
So all of those guys. The reality is, we're going to reach out tomorrow and we're going to say, who wants the next fight? Who wants this fight? Who's ready to go? Who wants to fight Usman? If it's Masvidal, Edwards, or Burns. Burns told me that night, let's turn this shit right around. I'll fight. Sure. I'll fight Usman now. I'm ready.
You know, I think
I love that kind of shit. When you're that guy, it's highly likely you're getting that fucking fight.
God bless. I love that. Now, you recently said in an interview that you've got something bigger for Masvidal than the title shot against Usman.
Have you already made up your mind on that?
I didn't say I have big. There's nothing bigger than a title shot.
Right.
There's nothing bigger than a title shot. Title shot's big.
Unless it's a Conor fight. That's bigger than
Masvidal has options. I mean, Masvidal's in a place where he's got some fun options. I don't know. I don't know if the Conor fight is, you know, if I'm Conor, I wait to see how this Gaethje fight plays out. You know, with Khabib
in September,
because I would want another shot at the title.
Right.
Fighting guys like Masvidal at 170 and these guys that are so much bigger than him, man. It's just. But Conor is Conor because Conor takes risks.
Right.
Conor is not, like I told you earlier, Conor isn't a guy that just sits around and waits and isn't afraid to take risks. So
right. I mean, when Masvidal Conor was first mentioned, you were quick to say Masvidal's too big for Conor. And then
Conor was pissed at me for saying that.
Right, 100%. And then Conor fought Cowboy at 170, but Cowboy's a natural lightweight, so that made sense. Conor versus a natural welterweight, maybe not the best idea. So I think that you want Conor back down at lightweight, and you don't mind him waiting until September to see what happens with Gaethje and Khabib.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
How many UFC fighters text you after a fight like, Dana, put me in? Like, your phone must blow the fuck up.
Yeah, it does. It does. Mine and the matchmakers right after fights start blowing up.
Who do you think Leon Edwards gets? Leon Edwards is just like the redheaded stepchild, just such a good fighter, and just somehow hasn't gotten the love and the attention.
No, you know, he's definitely not the redheaded stepchild. I mean, we were going to do that fight when the pandemic started. We were still going to go to London and do that fight, but you know, the pandemic came and
sure.
You know, we were dealing with that bullshit, and he's definitely not the redheaded stepchild. We see him; he's ranked number 4 in the world, and you know, there's some fun options for him too.
Right. Okay. Good.
And then we got Garbrandt fighting this week.
Yeah, let's talk about this weekend.
That's gonna be good. Amanda
Nunes, Felicia Spencer.
That card's fun.
Yeah, dude.
Asunciao and Garbrandt is a super fun fight. Corey Sandhagen and Aljamain Sterling. And then you got Eddie Wineland and Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's been out for a while. This is his first fight back and his first real big test. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Oh, dude. I'm so excited for it. And how the relationship with ESPN is beautiful.
Couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be better. And, you know, I think the fact that these guys now see that we can fight through a pandemic, we can fight through fucking anything, man. I think we have climbed a little higher on the totem pole over at ESPN. I think when we first signed the deal, we were like right above cornhole. Okay. Now I think we found a much better place on the totem pole over at ESPN.
Man, it's dude, it's just so great what you've done for the sport. Like we're on ESPN. Like every celebrity in the world loves it. It's really rad. And like I said in the beginning, man, it's just a tragic, fucked up, sad time. And you know, I just watch a little bit of news and I feel myself just get bummed. And to be able to sit down and watch UFC, man, it means the fucking world, dude. Thanks,
buddy. I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hey, dude, thank you so much for your time, dude. And if somebody says, yo, Steve-O passes a COVID test, dude, I will sweep the fucking, I'll be your janitor. Yeah,
you're the best. I'll hit you back today and let you know.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that so much, Dan. We could not be bigger fans of you, of the UFC. I do not ever miss a fight, and thank God we're getting this up in time to get more people buying UFC 250 Nunes Spencer.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Later,
man.
boys. I'll see you soon.
Likewise,
later, Dana.
Dude. Thank you. All right. I think that's the most nervous I've been on a podcast. I'm just such a fan of Dana White and the UFC. What a rad dude. And, man, UFC 250 this weekend. I'm super psyched about it. Everybody, the street team, thank you. You know what to do. Just what a crazy time, man. What a crazy time. Love and respect to everybody. Thank you so much.